What would you do if your favorite cruise line, a company you've been loyal to for years, suddenly banned you for life? And what if they refused to tell you why? Well, that's exactly what happened in this bizarre case, and it comes to us straight from the files of the incredible consumer advocacy team at Elliott Advocacy.
That's Christopher Yanchak. He's a loyal, gold status passenger, and he's reacting to news that just, well, it made no sense at all. He'd been blacklisted for life by Norwegian Cruise Line with zero explanation.
And this wasn't just some misunderstanding about a future trip. No, there was some serious money on the line. Yanchak already had an $8,000 cruise booked and paid for. If this ban wasn't reversed, he'd lose every last cent.
So, how did this all come out? Well, the whole thing started with a super simple phone call. Yanchak's wife was on the phone with NCL just trying to switch a dinner reservation for their big upcoming trip. But that call took a really strange turn. After being put on a long hold, the customer service agent comes back on the line and just casually mentions that her husband, Christopher, is on the company's do not sail list. The reason had something to do with their last cruise, but that's all she could say. No other details. He was banned. So, what is this do not sail list anyway? Well, think of it as a cruise line's secret internal blacklist. You can get on it for all sorts of reasons, big or small. But here's the thing. There's almost no transparency, they rarely show you any evidence, and you're basically considered guilty until you can somehow prove yourself innocent.
Okay, so what could he have possibly done? The cruise line kept pointing back to something that happened on his last trip, which was on the Norwegian Joy.
So here's what went down on the ship. Security called him in about a broken picture frame. Yanchak had no idea what they were talking about and asked to see security footage. They denied his request, saying it was for privacy reasons. The security officer looked him over for any injuries, found nothing, and gave him a simple written warning. That's it. Yanchak even double-checked with guest services multiple times, and they kept telling him his account was clear. He left the ship with a final bill of $0. The whole thing seemed like a non-issue.
So months later, after finding out about this shocking ban, Yanchak starts trying to get some answers. He's emailing NCL, explaining the situation, even sending photos showing he had no injuries from whatever they were talking about, and the response he got? Pretty much nothing.
When a response did finally trickle in, it was a complete and total shutdown. A specialist from NCL basically said they wouldn't discuss it any further. The message was loud and clear: get a lawyer.
And this is where the story takes another bizarre twist. Remember, on the ship, they told him it was about a broken picture frame. But now, in their emails, NCL was claiming he broke a mirror. The company couldn't even keep its own accusation consistent.
So this brings up a really important question. Here's a guy facing a lifetime ban, about to lose $8,000, all based on some flimsy accusation that keeps changing, and he's not even allowed to see the evidence. What are you supposed to do in a situation like that?
Well, this case actually teaches us a lot about how to defend yourself. And the great consumer advocate Christopher Elliott has some clear rules to follow when you're being unfairly accused by a huge corporation.
First off, document absolutely everything. Take photos, write notes, get the times and dates right. That becomes your indisputable record. Second, always get the full names and titles of every single employee you talk to. It makes things personal and holds them accountable. Third, save every email, every letter, all of it. That paper trail is your best friend. And fourth, don't be afraid to keep demanding to see the evidence they have against you. Make them show their cards.
So let's get back to our story. After hitting one brick wall after another, Christopher Yanchak realized that trying to reason with NCL directly just wasn't working. He knew he couldn't win this fight on his own.
So he made a very smart move. He reached out to the pros at Elliott Advocacy. He laid out all the facts, all the weird inconsistencies, and the complete stonewalling he'd been getting from the cruise line. Christopher Elliott's team took the case, reached out to their high-level contacts at Norwegian Cruise Line, and presented the facts. And then, just like that, the lifetime ban was lifted. And that was that. NCL officially took Yanchak off their do not sail list. Now, true to form, they never gave an explanation for why they banned him in the first place or why they changed their minds. But the important thing is, his $8,000 trip was saved. And that victory happened for one reason: the intervention of Christopher Elliott and his amazing team. This whole ordeal really highlights a powerful lesson, and Christopher Elliott says it best himself. Sometimes the only way to navigate the troubled waters is to make enough waves that the cruise line realizes the easiest course is to fix your problem. It's just a great reminder that when you're in the right, sometimes you just have to push back.